I'm attorney Thomas Burton, and today's question is the following. How much does probate cost in Wisconsin? Now this is a very good question. Like a lot of questions, the answer is it depends. But in general, I'll walk you through some of the fees and costs imposed on estates that go through probate in Wisconsin. So for an estate of $10,000 or less, there's an inventory filing fee, a minimum of $20. So for sure you'd have to file that. And that inventory filing fee means all the assets of the estate, the inventory on them. Now most folks have estates far above this amount. In fact, if you own real estate, usually you're going to get pulled into a probate because you have over $50,000 in assets. So from there, the fee is 0.2% of the value of the property. Now this gets a little confusing with the percentages, 0.2%, but I did the math. Let's say you have an estate worth $100,000, the inventory filing fee is going to be $200. Or if your estate's $500,000, the inventory filing fee will be $1,000. So it starts to add up the more assets you have. And that's why I tell folks, as you have more assets, in my opinion, it makes more sense to plan to avoid probate than filing and paying these filing fees to the probate court simply to open the estate. Now, as a reminder, these fees are just the fee your personal representative has to send in with a check just to open the estate. And that's a fee the court takes for administering this, because they really don't want to have to deal with all this. They're busy with other civil and criminal matters, but if they have to, they will. And when I say if they have to, it means a lot of people who didn't plan at all, the courts end up as the last resort, have to deal with it. So they charge this inventory filing fee. Now I've heard other states, probate can be very expensive, the filing fees even higher, like California. And in that respect, I don't think the probate fees are that bad here in Wisconsin, the filing fee. However, there's other costs to be aware of. Most people who aren't a skilled attorney are going to want to get help from an attorney like me to walk through the probate process, because it's not a simple process. It's, by statute, takes 6 months to 2 years, and to do it, you need to file anywhere from about 8 to 12 pieces of paperwork and file all these notices to heirs and various things. It's a very paper-intensive process, and most people come to my office, if they've been through a probate, they tell me they never want to go through another one. So you have to think about not just the actual dollar cost, but the emotional and time cost spent on this type of thing. And so for most people, it makes sense to hire an attorney to help them. And in my experience, for even a small estate, you're going to end up spending $4,000 to $6,000 in attorney fees to have a lawyer like myself help you, because these are time-consuming affairs, and it's rare that you'll get an estate completely through probate in less than 20 hours. Now for larger estates, and if there's fighting and other things going on, that can go much higher. And the more heirs fight over things, the more time it takes for the attorney, so your probate bill could easily double that. But again, that $4,000 to $6,000, I would say budget that as a minimum to pay the attorney out of the estate to administer the probate. Now the filing fee will get assessed on all property you own that passes through probate. So if you don't plan with a trust or other method to avoid probate on your real estate, that would go through the probate, and they take the value of the real estate less any liens and assess that filing fee. A few other costs you should be aware of is your estate will need to file a final tax return, meaning you'll probably need to hire a CPA to prepare and file that, and then pay any taxes owed on the period after your death from when the estate is open to when you die. So if you work with my office, I often recommend we try to get your estate, the probate, completed in under 1 year, so you only need to file one tax return, and you can save a little money there on filing extra tax return fees as well. But in general, that's why at my office I like to work with folks to avoid probate. There's ways to avoid probate even without a trust through careful planning. It just depends on your mix of assets And in my opinion, it depends on how much you have in your budget, looking at what's the best plan for you, whether to do full probate avoidance, or maybe your estate is modest and it's okay to go through probate and we try to avoid probate on as many assets as we can, something like that. So in general, the question is a good one. How much does probate cost in Wisconsin? And it depends, but you know the numbers of your own estate. And I would say think of that $100,000 estate, for sure $200 to file, plan another $4,000 to $6,000 for the attorney fees, and maybe another $1,000 in other costs. And then remember, your personal representative receives 2% by statute under state law. So if you had $100,000, they would be entitled to receive $2,000 as their fee for administering the estate. So again, these are all things you can alter by using a trust or other plan to avoid probate. And there are ways to save some money there. So great question, and thank you for asking.